Hey beautiful people, welcome back to our channel and thank you so much for watching our video today. So guys, it's another day and I will be talking about information that can carry you to Portugal. Now there are some things I want to talk about. Post-graduation work permit, which is the permit that you can get in a particular country abroad after you finish your studies, right? I'm going to talk about that, but first what I want to talk about now is information coming from the Portuguese embassy. For those of you who deposited your documents and you have not yet gotten a call, this is what I want you to do. Please, if you deposited your documents or if you deposit your documents and it's taken long, it is always wise, if you have not booked appointment for legalization, you should book appointment for legalization. It's very important. From Cameroon, remember there is no Portuguese embassy in Cameroon, which means that you have to go to Nigeria to go and legalize your documents if you are not in Nigeria. But for Nigerians, they already know what it entails. Now when you deposit your documents, they will send it back. This process is for Nigerians only. They will send it to a body. I think that body is called NUC. Then NUC will send to your school. Then your school will send back to NUC. Then NUC will now transfer to the embassy before the embassy will have to call you. Okay, please, it will be important or it will be good for you if you already booked an appointment for the verification process. NUC, when you reach NUC and NUC is sending to your school, they are doing verification, right? When your school confirms, it will send back to NUC. Then NUC will now send back to the embassy. It is the embassy which is doing legalization. So the process for it to go to your school and back to the embassy is called verification. Then the final person to do legalization is the embassy. Now it is good for you to book an appointment already. Remember, you have to pay for it. I don't know the money in CFA France, but I think for bachelor's degree it's around 20 euros. Then for those with HND it's around 100,000 plus. Please, you have to verify from the embassy website or from the embassy. All right, remember, if you apply to the University of Mino, you should take a look at the document submission. If you apply to the University of Algarve, you should take a look at the document submission. There is a particular date they will always give. Some people are having hard time selecting programs. I understand, because most Portuguese universities, they don't teach in English, especially at the bachelor's level. So if you are going for masters in a complicated area, especially healthcare, you have to really look deep, because most schools do not offer programs for master's level. At master's level for healthcare professionals or people into healthcare, gynecologists, midwifery and all the rest. That was only for Finland, but though there are still some schools, I'm not saying there are no schools, but you have to check more than, you have to put in extra work to do it. Okay, so as to find schools. Now this is the information I wanted to give to you. Let's go back to the issue of PGWP. What will happen to you if you study in Switzerland, if you study in Portugal, if you study in Denmark, and after your studies, what will happen? Now I want to take these three countries and use them for example so that we can understand something. I will start with Portugal. Remember, I have always said that you can migrate to Portugal with your family, right? This is no joke again. Everybody is aware of this. Now, you cannot just migrate without money. You cannot migrate if you don't know what to do. Remember, if you have all the resources put in place, when you are migrating, you should understand that you are going to be given 2 years study permit, okay? 2 years study permit and probably 2 years work permit, because of course you are going to the EU and you need to be working and going to school. How many hours are you going to work in Portugal? You are going to be working 20 hours a week. Not that while you are studying this program, I will emphasize first, like a master's student, let me use master's students as example. You will get 2 years of student's permit, study permit, right? Now the laws in Portugal says that when you study, when your study finish, or when you finish with your study program, you have to exit the country. The advice I will give to you is, when you move to Portugal, immediately try and look for a job. And don't just look for a job, look for a job that can give you work permit, right? Yes, a document, legal document to show that you are working. Now while you are working with this document with you, as soon as your 2 years program is finished, like if your 2 years program elapsed, Now, you will now use that work permit that was given to you to look for a job. When it's about to finish, or let me say when it's about to expire, you can now use that work permit that was given to you to look for a full-time job. It is possible like that in Portugal. But if your 2 years study permit is about to expire when you had not been working, or maybe you didn't have a work contract or work permit, it will not be easy for you to get another job because nobody is going to employ you. Even if they want to employ you, it will be too late. But the advice I will give to you is make sure you get a contract, a job offer that will give you a contract to show that at least you are going to be working for 2 years. So you have to be calculative, right? Yes, you have to be calculative. We already know all these things. I cannot say everything here. So you have to be calculative, because if at the end of your study program you are not working, you cannot show that you were working, it will be difficult for you to get something, and thus you have to exit. I hope you get this clearly. Now let's take a look at Switzerland. Can you stay back in Switzerland and work as an international student if your program is finished or if your program ends? Now, the laws in Switzerland says that after school you will get 6 months PGWP, postgraduate work permit, to look for a job. This is the law. Now, remember, for Switzerland you cannot move with family, and within these 6 months you can find a job in Switzerland if and only if you actually studied the language of that canton. For example, remember I always say that there are schools in Switzerland and there are cantons in Switzerland, right? So if you move to a place like Zurich or Geneva or Basel, that is a canton of its own. And in Switzerland there are 4 languages, so you need to also try to learn the language of that particular canton in which you are studying and living. For example, if in Zurich they speak Italian or German, you have to be learning so that when you finish from school you should know the language, because this same language is going to help you faster to get a job in Switzerland as an international student or an international. This is pure facts I'm telling you, so you have to put this into consideration, guys. Do not forget. Now, some people were asking me, Milton, oh, I saw from the website after 6 months you cannot work as an international student or as a newly relocated international student. It is true. It is on the website, but this is all about the website. You can equally, you understand already, I cannot say it here. But remember, your employer needs to give you a work permit. And this work permit is not going to be a problem. Like I explained to you, while in Switzerland, also learn the language of that canton, because it's so important and would obviously help you. Now, the last country I want to talk about is Denmark. Can you move with family to Denmark? The answer is yes, as an international student. Remember, most schools in Denmark, when you pay your tuition fee after admissions is given to you, sometimes they charge per semester, and it's usually close to like 5 million. That's around 7,500 euros. Okay, and you have to pay this money. If you don't pay within the time given to you, your admission will be stripped off you. So you have to pay. Then when you pay, it is the school that will begin your visa process. Sometimes they will start filling the forms. Then they will start with the filling of the forms. Then after that, they will pass it to you. You fill it and send back to them. Then you start the visa application. It's not that complicated, but it is so expensive. Remember, IELTS is a primary requirement here, or let me say a secondary requirement, because it's very important. So make sure you have IELTS so that you can use it for your application. Schools are already closed now in Denmark, and you can only apply for January 2025 intake as of I think around June or July, or around, is it May, June or July? You have to verify all the details, guys. And again, when you finish from studies, when you finish when your program ends, how many years are you going to be given to stay back in Denmark and work? You are going to get 3 years PGWP. And remember, you can move with family, right? Yes, you are going to get 3 years of postgraduate work permit if you study in Denmark for at least 2 years, so that you can look for a job and work on. Of course, Denmark is looking for a lot of workers. So if you have the opportunity, make sure you utilize it now. Do not waste a lot of time. Now, remember, some countries, most countries in Europe do not offer postgraduate work permit. Canada offers it, but Canada is now trying to limit the rate at which internationals, foreign students, come in because of housing problems. Everybody is aware of that. If you're not aware of that, then that is the info. So my advice is also try to be looking at other countries that can accept families and dependents, because I know a lot of people really want to migrate, but the fear of leaving their family behind is a whole lot of problems on its own. So please take a look at all of these and put many things into consideration before you know everything will be fine. I hope this helps you. We are going to meet again in another video, but remember, the first thing you need to do for me is to like this video, and do not forget to share with one person. Please, please, please like and share